enjoy, like I said, being with my kids. I do have some pretty strict guidelines. I like to let them have fun. Of course, they're still young, but at the same time, I don't like to let them get away with things. I do tell my 1.5-year-old no. He knows no. He knows, when you get into something, it's not, you can't touch it if it's something you're not supposed to be in. And also with my 3-year-old, he's going through a little bit of terrible twos right now. He's kind of having a little bit of attitude problems. He's talking back, things like that. But it's also a part of growing up. He's going to go through those things. There's kids here that go through the same stuff, and basically just have to, get them back to where they're supposed to be, and just tell them, you can't say that. It's not okay. You can't talk to me like that. You can't yell at me or tell me that you're in charge or whatever. So just letting them know, I guess, that like I'm mom, and you have to make sure that you understand that I'm mom and what I say goes, and you need to listen, and what I'm telling you, you cannot be that way with me. So and he gets it to a certain extent. He tries to get away with stuff, but of course I don't let him. With the school age kids here, they're a little more outspoken and a little harder to deal with than the smaller kids with like the preschool, kindergarten. Preschool, kindergarten have their own little sets of issues, but for the most part, the kids here are pretty good. We don't have a lot of issues. We have gone through a few teachers in the back with the school age, only because school age is a hard age to deal with when it comes to making sure that they're not getting away with things also. So you have to make sure that you're being strict, having the guidelines for them as well, and you're not letting them walk all over you. You're the adult, they're the child, so you just have to make sure you have those boundaries. So basically, here we don't do like timeouts or anything like that. Basically what it is if you're not behaving and you're not listening, then you have to go sit on the bench, and you sit at the table, or you go take a seat inside if we're inside doing an activity, and you sit by yourself, and then when you're ready to participate again, then you can. But you don't get to just get away with things or just do whatever you want. So they understand that, and they know that. There's a lot of times where as a group also, if there's chit-chatting going on, we have to hold them as a group instead of just singling one child out and saying like, oh no, you were talking, so you have to go sit down. Well, guess what? Everybody's talking, or everybody has the consequences for what the actions are. So basically, like, if we also do like a reading time where one of the children reads to the class, and they are supposed to sit quietly. And a lot of them have a hard time with that because they just got out of school, they want to run around, they're energized, they want to do things, but there's also a time for, it's good to have the little reading time, because it's like, okay, it's time for you to just calm down, just take a breather and sit there and relax and just listen to the story. And it's good too because they're listening to their peers read, and it's good for the reader because they're reading to an audience, so they get that practice of speaking loudly and speaking in front of people. So it's good. And so when we do that, it's a lot of times it's very difficult because the kids like to talk. So we're constantly telling them, you guys need to be quiet, listen to the person reading, behave, and just sit there. It's good. It's fine. So there's a lot of that going on, but for the most part, like I said, the kids are pretty good here. So we don't have a lot of issues with that. But yeah, so I would say along the same lines of what I deal with at home and what I deal with here. So it's a pretty good balance. So
is there anything you would do differently with your own children and raising them?
Not that I can think of. I do. One thing that I do, which is something that my grandmother didn't do with me, is she never spanked me. She never spanked me when I was a little girl. So I was never brought up like that. It was like you go have a timeout, or you go stand in the corner, things like that. And I do spank my own kids if needed. I mean, it's not hard. It's not to the point of like hitting or beating. It's just a spank. But at the same time, just to get them to know and understand that what